Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to Energize Live. Kind of felt like a journey to get here this morning. I feel like I've done a lot and it's only 6:30 a.m. Welcome to Energize Live. Today is November 2nd. Listen, I want you to take that in for a moment. Today is November 2nd. So first of all, you woke up today. The alarm went off and you woke up and here you are, November 2nd. That right there is a win, okay? So today's November 2nd, the alarm went off, you were alive, you woke up, that's a win. Win, win, win. Secondly, like 2 seconds ago, we were saying, good morning, it's November 1st. And it's November 2nd, just like that. Like literally that's how fast time passes, right? So like 1 second ago, we were saying, good morning, it's November 1st, it's a brand new month. And here we are 1 second later, and we're saying, good morning, it's November 2nd. So first of all, your alarm went off this morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning to everyone. You're here, you're alive. What a blessing. Like right off the bat, what a blessing. We are here together. We're on this crazy, frustrating, amazing, incredible platform that in 2022 we get to connect on. So right away, it's a blessing, right? Like you think about what a time it is to be alive right now. It's not 1922, it's 2022, and we get to connect all over the world. I had people message me this morning that from the UK. They're like, if I subscribe, I can't even do a UK accent. If I'm a subscriber, can I watch your Instagrams lives later because I'm in the UK? So and I'm like, what? Like on this incredible platform, we get to connect with people all over the world. So first of all, win. Secondly, a second ago was November 1st, and here we are the next day, November 2nd. That's how time moves. That's how fast time passes. She keeps moving. And sometimes we're like, ho, ho, hum about our goals, about our dreams, about our lives. Like, I got all the time in the world. No, you do not. No, you do not have all the time in the world. And I need you appreciating the blessing of this morning, that you are up, that you are alive, that you are here, that we are here together. What a gorgeous thing it is. And at the same time, can we move with some urgency? Can we move with some urgency? I mean, literally a second ago was November 1st. We're in 2 seconds, we're going to be like, and today is December 1st. And we're gonna be like, wait, what? Like that is how time, and we like hokey doke around like we got all the time in the world. I got all the time in the world to make my goals and dreams happen. I got all the time in the world. I'm gonna wait. What are you waiting on? What are you waiting on? I haven't even had my energized yet. Like I haven't even, this is what's coming at you. And I haven't even had my energized yet. I haven't even had it. But you have to see this cup first. This is the energy that we are taking into this month. Main character energy. This is the energy that we are taking into this month. Okay? We are the main character of our lives. You are the main character of your life. I did a quick little daily dose of real talk that I want to expound upon this morning. I've been thinking a lot about the power of words and how words matter. In terms of the words that we say to ourselves, in terms of the words that we use to describe ourselves. I do have natural energy, Kimmy. You know I do. I am fired up today because I'm so tired of people, and by people, I mean women, like waiting around for some magical, mystical moment to like, okay, now I'll make my dreams and goals come true. Y'all, you don't even know if you're waking up tomorrow. You don't even know if you're waking up tomorrow. You're like, oh, I'll get around to it. Shoot. When? When are you going to get around to actually making your goals and dreams come true? Do you know how many women I talk to on the daily? I just want to leave my job. I just want to be home with my kids. I want to make more money. I want to do this. I want to do that. I'm like, well, what are you doing about it? Well, I'm going to get to it. Really overwhelmed right now. I just don't know. I'm really busy. Okay. So the answer is never. The answer is no, I'm just never going to get to it. Okay. Just want to be clear. Let's just get clear. Let's just clear that that's what the actual answer is. Okay. As long as we're clear on that, as long as you're clear on that, then there's no misunderstanding. It's when you're walking around telling people, well, I'm going to do X, Y, Z, and then you don't, that I think is the problem. right? And the thing is, the longer you don't do the thing that you want to do, the longer you're not doing that, the more that becomes your story, right? The more that becomes your story. So I was thinking about this idea of words mattering. And I did a quick little DDRT, Daily Dose of Real Talk. I don't even know. It like barely scratched the surface of everything that I wanted to say, but I only had a minute. So we're diving into it here on Energize Live. And words really matter. Here's what I would love to have a conversation around what oh Lord, Brenna, don't even get me started on the word try. Do you see this frother? Do you see this frother? Right through my eyeball is what I want to do. Because no, you're not. No, you're not even trying. No, you're not. Sometimes that's my way out when someone invites me to something and I really don't want to go to it. Like I'd have to leave my house at night. I'll try to make it. No, I won't. Like you already know. Like no, you won't. So let's continue this conversation. What are some phrases that you hear people say, and what are some phrases you say to and about yourself? Okay, I'm gonna start you with one. Here's one. I'm just so overwhelmed. I'm just so overwhelmed. Listen, Brene Brown, author, speaker, Brene Brown, if you haven't read her or heard of her, do a quick Google search, Brene Brown, defines the word overwhelm as literally being paralyzed by monumental life events, such as the death of a family member, or maybe a medical diagnosis, right? A monumental life event, and you're paralyzed for a moment. You are overwhelmed by the magnitude of what just happened. And it's going to take you a minute to process it and then start working through it, right? It's a big emotion, and the word needs to be used appropriately. Starting a business in the health and fitness space, you're not overwhelmed. I said what I said. It could be new. You could be learning how to navigate it. It could be a new challenge for you. But let's get really honest with ourselves in terms of these words. Are you really overwhelmed? Are you really overwhelmed? Is it such a monumental life event? Is it on the same caliber as, let's say, I don't know, a cancer diagnosis? Really? Is it? Are you really overwhelmed? Or are you busy? And here's the other thing. Let's talk about busy for a moment. Let's talk about busy just for a moment. Do you know what busy is? Busy is life. What are you waiting on life to do? Have nothing for you? Be boring? This whole, oh man, I just gotta wait till life comes down and then life happened. Yes. You're a human being with things that happen. That's called life, right? It's not really called busy. It's really called life. I listened to a mom the other day. She was just talking about how, and then we're in the middle of marching band season, and we've got this, and we've got this, and we've got this, and it's just so busy, and I'm going, and I'm like, well, yeah, that's called life. That's called the lives of the children that you chose. That's called life. And I'm going to tell you right now that in the blink of an eye, remember, yesterday was November 1st, today's November 2nd, in the blink of an eye, all that busyness will be gone. All that busyness will be gone. And then what? This is the season of your life that you're in, right? So what else do you hear? Is that what you hear, Kayla? I wish I was as motivated like you. Do you hear that, Kayla? Is that what you hear? Because I know you're not saying that to me. So is that what you hear? I wish I was motivated like you. That makes me want to stick this straw through my eyeball too. What else do you hear? Let's take a drink of this so I can put the lid on it. And quite honestly, Fab Felicia, that someday you're going to change your Instagram handle to something else. Quite honestly, I even think about that, like life gets messy. I think even that, in a way, is doing a disservice. I mean, life is just life. Like, we're all humans trying to figure this out, right? So almost saying that it's messy, I know where you're going with it, and I agree with you. You're like, this is just kind of how life is. But almost Like saying that it's messy implies that someday it will be cleaned up and perfect and you'll have time. Like life is just life. The stuff that happens is just life. You spill your water, your kids get in a fight. Our dogs got in a fight last night. It was so stressful. Our dogs got in a fight last night. You've got house projects. You have a table that shows up, a replacement table that shows up that is also damaged. Did you hear me share about that on my stories? The replacement table that showed up to replace the table that didn't work was damaged. Like, what? Am I overwhelmed by it? Is life just messy? No, it's just a thing that just happened in life. It's just a thing that just happened in life. Yeah, this whole idea of I wish I was just motivated like you. No, what they're saying is they wish they had habits like you. And here's the thing. You can talk about habits just like I do and help people understand it's just habits. You're not motivated or inspired. You're just habits. You're just habits. That's amazing, Felicia. That's amazing. 20 years later. I love it. People, first of all, Sarah, here's I'm going to ask you this question too. People think I'm crazy for getting up as early as I do. Like what people and how many? Like 2, 3? Like again, like even this stuff that we tell ourselves, we wind it up into, I don't know if you follow author, speaker Jon Acuff. He has this funny example. I don't know where it is and what book it is. And he talks about it sometimes on his podcast. I know he's done it in, books. He's so funny. He's very dryly funny. And he said, like, I think on his Instagram one day he got like 1 or 2 people that made like some sort of negative comment. And he came downstairs and his wife has this way of like kind of piercing through his drama. He's a writer. He's very sarcastic. He kind of has this like sort of drama about him. It's very funny. He came in and he's like, I don't know how I'm going to deal with all these haters. How am I going to deal with all these haters? And she's like, what haters? Like the one person that made the one negative comment on your Instagram, like these are all your haters. She's like, stop making up so much drama. And I feel like that's again in this whole idea of like words matter. Like people think I'm crazy for getting up early. How many people? How many? 100 or 2? Like let's stop making up drama and stories in our head about all these people and like we're so cool because we're getting up early. Just stop. Just stop with the thing. I hear that too. Like I'm not a morning person. I don't like veggies or vitamins or, whatever it might be. People telling themselves, why do you want to tell yourself that you don't like to move your body? You're literally in a machine built to move. This lid's very interesting. Okay, let me keep scrolling here. How are you always so happy? Do you know what's funny? Oh, wow, that was loud. You know what's interesting when people say, I get that a lot. Like, how do you have so much energy? How are you always so happy? Do you know what my answer is? I really like my life. They're always like, oh, like you can actually live a life that you like. I'm like, yeah, I'm actually creating it on purpose, with purpose. So I really like my life. My kids are so little, I can't in this season. I built my 7-figure business with my kids being little. Said what I said. Okay, so let's talk about, I tried it before. Right, I tried it before. Okay, so now let's talk about for a moment. So those are things that we hear from other people. But let's maybe stop pointing the fingers at other people for a moment and let's consider for a moment some of the words and phrases that we might be using about ourselves or some of the stories that we tell ourselves, because it's easy to point the fingers and go, well, this is what I hear all the time. And I think when we hear that, sometimes that's an opportunity for us. So for example, Sydney says you eat so healthy. That might be an opportunity for you to go, that's an interesting comment. What do you mean by that? And actually ask someone to define it. Or, wow, you're just so happy all the time. Really, that's such an interesting comment. What do you mean by that? And really asking people to define what they mean. Sometimes they don't really know. And I think it's a cool point for a conversation. right? To really ask them what they mean by that. Brianne, okay, Brianna goes, I'll do it later. Okay, so that's a story. Those are words that you're telling yourself. Can you define, Brianna, what later is? What is later? Here's one that I hear. I don't hear it as much anymore, and I think it's because my girls are a little bit older, but I do hear it with the younger moms sometimes. Well, I'm just a mom, and with a little side hustle. I just want to make enough money to, cover my products. I'm just a mom. Let me walk away for a minute and gather myself. I can't with that. I cannot with that. So can you do a small favor for me, please? Can you please take 2 words out of your vocabulary? Number 1 is just, and number 2 is overwhelm. Can you please take those 2 words out of your vocabulary for me? Because no one is only one thing. I'm just a mom, as if you're not a human being person, as if you don't have goals and dreams, as if being a parent in any way, mom, dad, whatever, as if being a parent in any way is something small and not to be celebrated. You're literally raising humans, bringing them into this world. So please take the word just off your plate, because what you're doing when you say that is keeping yourself small, and you're giving yourself an out. And my question to you is, why do you want an out for your life? That will always be my question to you. Why do you want an out for your life? Oh, I'll get to it later. I'll figure it out later. When's later? Why are you putting off something that you know can make your life better? I know a lot of women struggle with outsourcing and delegation, and maybe hiring a housekeeper or hiring an assistant with their business or whatever. I'll get to that later. So what you're doing is keeping yourself small, which keep unraveling and keep pulling that string, which I think comes back to a fear of success. So I'm just a mom with a little side hustle. I just want to earn enough money to pay for my products. What you're doing is saying my goals and dreams don't matter, and I'm going to keep myself small so that I don't fail. Although who's determining what failure looks like? I'm just going to keep myself small. I don't want to outsource anything. I don't want to get an assistant or a housekeeper. I can do all of that myself because why don't you just say it? I have a fear of success. So I'm just going to keep myself small so I don't succeed too much, so that I can process it, because I have a fear of success. As if there's some shelf life or some limit on success, and who defines what too much is? What? Do you think that do you think you're going to wake up one morning and suddenly be a multimillionaire? No. And you're going to, if that's one of your goals, you're going to have to grow to get to that. And at the point in time when that happens, you're probably going to have the tools and resources to figure it out, right? So this fear of success makes me want to stab my eyeballs out too, right? Because what we don't understand is us living our lives and going after our goals and dreams give someone else permission to do that too. And isn't that what we want in the world? Isn't that what we want in the world? Yes, Emily, it's a fear of success. I'm just a mom trying to pay for my own. You know what? I have this full-time job, and I just don't have time to figure out how to this or that or this or that. No. All that is playing small and fear of success. But here's the thing. Here's the power of words. Here's the power of words. Once we define it and name it, it has less power over us. It has less power over us. My team and I are going for a really big goal this year, and we're kind of getting down to the wire if we can make it happen. And my job as the leader of the team is to machete chop the way through the forest and really help light the path for my incredible coaches to help reach this goal, right? But let's name the other emotions that are happening, because once you name them, they have less power. I'm very anxious that we're not going to reach this goal. Once I name it, it starts to have less power over it. right? Because I named it. Now I've given it a definition. I'm a little anxious that we're not going to reach this goal. I'm a little anxious what will happen on the other side of it if we don't. I also have deep belief that we will. I've named it. So can you name these emotions? If you're nervous to outsource something, what is the emotion that you're feeling that's keeping you from doing that? Is it a fear of success? Name it. Are you nervous that someone might not do it the same way as you? Okay, cool. Name it and say it out loud, because when you name it, it starts to have less power over you. When you start something new, and again, I always use my examples because it's the story that I know. Women that come in to my business, to the health and wellness space, to my business, oh, I'm just overwhelmed. No, let's name it appropriately. What you're doing is something new. Just like learning to drive a car, just like learning to be a parent, learning to put a diaper on your child for the first time. What you're doing is something new. You're not overwhelmed. Let's name it appropriately. I'm nervous about sharing my goals with my family. Okay, name it. And then dig into why maybe that is. And then dig into, does that really matter? Right? I remember when I started my fitness business, and I would get those little comments from my family, that little fitness business. That little fitness business. And that bothered me for a long time. And so I would shut down, especially around my husband's family. I would shut down. I wouldn't talk about it. And I started to dig into that. Why am I nervous to talk about my business? It's changing our lives. Why am I nervous to share about what it's doing? Why? Well, I dig. I was afraid of their opinions and their judgments. But why? Why was I afraid of their opinions and their judgments? Are they paying my bills? Oh, no. Okay. Are they dreaming my dreams? Do they have any? Oh, no. Huh. Okay. So then I guess it really doesn't matter. But you have to dig into some of that to let go of it. Instead of trying to put on a facade that everything's going to be okay and we're going to hit this goal and complete like rose color. I do kind of live life with rose colored glasses, but rose colored glasses and this super positivity, which I am very positive naturally. Instead of doing that all the time, it's okay to go, I'm having this emotion, let me name it. I'm anxious about this goal. I'm anxious about it. I'm anxious what's going to happen on the other side of it. Okay, let me name it and let me understand where those feelings are coming from. I've started something new. Okay, I'm a little bit nervous about starting something new. I'd like to start something new, but I'm nervous about it. So therefore I say I'm just a mom. Okay, let's name that. Why are you nervous about starting something new? Why are you covering that up with being just a mom? We could get into a whole other conversation about the status that we give mothers in our society, right? I'm just a mom, as if that's unimportant. Someone, I think, mentioned busy. I'm so busy. Can you define that? What does that look like? You actually have stuff to do in your life? Well, isn't that the point? Do you want to be my mom, sitting in front of a TV watching QVC all day? Sometimes it really was comical to me how sometimes she would be like, I'm so busy. I'm like, what are you doing? Well, I'm getting my hair done. I'm like, you know what? To an 85-year-old back in the day, that was a lot. That was a lot. Everyone has a different definition of busy. But sometimes I think we're waiting for this mystical feeling of less busy, which we cannot define, to try or start or do something. And I'm curious what that actually feels like. So when someone says to you, or when you say to you, I'm so busy, what does less busy feel like? And are you regularly trying to put that in your life too? To me, that would be rest, right? So what else do you hear? I hear, I'm tired. I don't think you're tired. I think you're uninspired. I don't think you're tired in the morning Now, listen, don't you get it twisted. Don't you get it twisted. I'm not talking to someone who has a newborn baby or has a weird sleep schedule, you know that. But I don't think you're tired in the morning most of the time when you're hitting snooze on your alarm. I think you're uninspired in your life. I don't think you're tired. I think you're uninspired. Name it. Name it. Give the emotion that you're feeling the appropriate name so that you can appropriately navigate your way through it. I don't think you're tired. I think you're uninspired. I think that the more we actually dissect the feeling and give it the appropriate name, the more we understand how words matter and that we actually live into the story that we tell ourselves. You know, when someone, I'm burned out. And I also think that society contributes a lot to this feeling of burnout because we've talked about a lot. And there is, let's get honest, there is some validity to that. There is some validity to that because we're in a world where we're on all the time, right? We're working remotely, but sometimes the boundaries between work and home and turning it off are blurred. Well, that's on us. Are you burned out or do you just not have good boundaries? Let's define it. Let's name it and let's define it. Are you burned out? Truly. Because that's a pretty big emotion. Or do you just not have boundaries and do you need better boundaries? Do you need to take a break? Do you need to go take a walk and then come back? You know, are you truly burned out or you just need better boundaries? And if you do, well, that's on you because you're a grown-up person. You're a grown-up person. We have to take ownership of these feelings and then name them appropriately so that we can navigate them. And I think we've got to call others up to do that too. The next time you hear a female go, I'm overwhelmed, go, really, can you define that for me? Tell me what's going on in your life that is, that has you so paralyzed that you cannot move. Tell me because I'd love to help you. Well, Johnny started kindergarten. Okay, so what you're just going through is a life transition. You're not overwhelmed. Okay, let's name it appropriately. Anything else that you can think of that you say to yourself? Because y'all, we live into the stories that we tell ourselves. What about the one, how about the, I just had it in my head. Shoot, I just lost it because I was reading the transformation post. Kimmy says, I haven't had that fabulous transformation that people see, but I'm stronger and feel better. She's writing that in all caps. Sometimes it's harder to reflect to others since I'm already an energetic person. Well, first of all, Kimmy, why do you care what other people think? What do you mean? You haven't had a weight loss success? All right, cool. Neither have I. Who cares? It doesn't matter what other people think. I mean, who are you? What are you trying to prove to other people? There's some stuff in there, Kimmy, that you need to unpack right there. Get excited about what you want to. When people say, I'm okay. You know what? Being okay is not the point of life. None of us were put on this earth to just be okay, to just be mediocre or average. Nobody was put, no one, I mean, the very fact, I know I've said this before, the very fact that the universe conspired to bring the pieces together to create you at this exact moment in time, none of that lends itself to just being okay. You're supposed to be extraordinary. Because it is absolutely extraordinary that you're even here alive right now. So just being okay, just being average. Here's the truth. I really believe that we are more afraid of success than we are of failure. And we say a lot of things to cover that up. We're more afraid of success. I'm so busy. I'm so overwhelmed. There's so much on my plate. What's the word I want to use? We discredit the amount that we can actually do because we're afraid of success far more than we're afraid of failure. And we are saying these things to ourselves. So as much as we're talking about what we hear from other people and how that might drive us crazy, understand that you're saying this too. I'm saying this too. I've done all I can. Have you? As Brendon Burchard says, where's the spreadsheet? I've tried everything. Where's the spreadsheet? Have you? I've tried everything to build my business. Really? Have you? You've messaged all 8,000 of your friends on Facebook and invited them to join you. Really? You've tried everything. Really? Let me see your spreadsheet. Well, I just can't find any help. Really? Let me see your spreadsheet of all the people that you've asked. Let's call each other up to better language, to more appropriate language, to language that truly names what we're feeling, truly names what we're going through. Let's call each other up to that. And when we hear another female say, I'm just a mom, I want you to say something about that. I want you to stop them and go, whoa, 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 whoa. When I hear a conversation, when I usually like on a call I'm speaking on or something, and a woman leads with their age, I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. We don't need to lead with our age. Men don't do that. We don't need to do that. Let's really call each other up to better language that appropriately defines what we're feeling so that we can more competently navigate through that. Chances are you're not overwhelmed. You're trying something new. Chances are you're not tired. You're uninspired. Chances are you're not too busy. You're afraid of failure or you're afraid of success. Chances are there's something else. Let's be the generation that ends the I'm just. Yes, yes. And let's be aware of what other people are saying, but let's be hyper aware of what we are saying to ourselves and what we are saying out into the universe. Yes, let's be aware of what other people are saying and call them up to better, more definitive language, but let's be 1,000 times more aware of what we are saying to ourselves. Because if we want to change the story that we are writing every day, we are in charge of that. We are the ones writing the words. We are the ones writing the words. We choose the words. And if you're choosing words like overwhelm and tired and just, no wonder your story isn't turning out to be the story that you want. But the beautiful news is you're writing it. So let's choose some different words and let's write a different story. And while we're doing that, help the people around us do that too. We have a deal? No more overwhelm. No more just. No more, I'm so busy. No more, I don't have time. No more, I've tried everything. No more of that. Because the truth is, no, you haven't. No more, I tried that, but no more of this. I'm okay. No, you are put here to be extraordinary, and it's time to get about it. Yesterday was November 1st. Blink your eye, today's November 2nd. That's how fast time goes. Do you want to spend your life telling yourself that you're overwhelmed, tired, and just? Or do you want to tell yourself that you're extraordinary and capable of amazing things and that you can create your life on purpose with purpose? You hold the pen. You choose the words. You write the story. So let's make it a good one. Happy Wednesday.